left Lake Havasu, followed the river back down to Nevada, swam in the river, was in the Colorado River swimming, changed up, and then jumped back across the river into Arizona and up to one of my favorite places. Boundary Cone, Route 66, and that way to Jackass Junction. We'll go check on some donkeys before the day's over and I get some dinner. Out here having an adventure in the desert. Been in California, Nevada, and Arizona, and back and forth, bouncing across the lines, which really is not much because we're right at the corner of all 3 states, but yes sir. No day in the desert is complete without visiting my donkeys. Jackass Junction. Welcome to Oatman. Day's cooling down. A little bit over 100 today. Now it's cooling down for sure. Out here, finishing the day off before I get some dinner. So I live at what I call the speed of life, where every second counts. Let me tell you a story. So me and my best friend Tony were riding, this is probably 10 years ago, and we burnt through a red light because we got tired of waiting, and we got across town ripping, and a kid in front of us was texting while the light turned yellow, and he slammed on his brakes, and we slammed into the kid. Actually, Tony didn't slam into him. Tony was able to get around one side. I wasn't. So when in doubt, throttle out. I hit it hard and just hit it full throttle and wrapped the crash bar of my old Road King around my leg. But I kept the bike up, you know, and I didn't get hurt or whatever. And I think we scared the kid more than anything because we were in our patches back then and whatnot. But I'll tell you what, we both kind of realized after when we got back home that if we wouldn't have ran that one red light, we wouldn't have hit that kid, because every second counts. Every little thing is connected like that. So it's tough, you know, and you always got to wonder. So I've always been like I've always tried to be real cognizant, like when we leave, like especially when I was in charge of people in a group, right? So if you're with a club or wherever else and you're out on the road, like a road captain, president, whatever you might be, everybody's life's in your hands to a certain degree, right? So every second counts, you know. You got to figure everybody that ever had a tragedy or just a terrible thing that happened, especially with these motorcycles. You can imagine, you know, a lot of times if they'd have left 10, 20, 30 seconds before or after they left, the situations that they came across that ended up being dastardly or, you know, terrible wouldn't have happened, you know. And we don't control that, you know. This isn't our hands, man. This is in God's hands, if you ask me. That's what I believe. And, you know, I just try and be cognizant, and I try to be careful to live, like I say, at the speed of life. And so that's what I try to do. You know, I try to be aware. You know, from the morning when I wake up, if I don't feel right, then I'm waiting a couple of minutes before leaving. You know, there's been a couple of times where I have not left. There's been a couple of times, my old club could tell you, where I've turned the whole pack around, where they want to go home and we're in the rain, and I just think, no, something ain't right. I can't see, I can't visualize being home, getting home 6, 7, 8 hours later, where our final destination might be and whatnot. So I've turned whole packs around and upset guys that maybe didn't want to, you know, wait till the next day to leave. And I've only done that a couple of times, but it's what I felt strongly inside my heart, like, nah, something ain't right. I just can't see forward. Like, I can't visualize what's going to happen or getting home. I can always visualize getting home. I can always see, like, oh, I'll be swimming in my pool or kicking it with my son or doing something like that later. But I couldn't see it a couple of times. And so what I do, I turn around. Doesn't matter if everybody's mad or not, you know. So anyways, every second counts out here in life, man. Miles don't matter. Route 66, boundary cone. The miles don't matter in your heart. The miles don't matter about what you've been through. The miles don't matter at all, man. Not on these roads, not on these highways, not on Route 66. Just get out there and live life, man, and try and live at the speed of life, man. We can't control what happens. Like I say, that's not in our hands, but we can try to kind of be calm in our heart and try to be aware about hearing that small voice and hearing, man, something don't seem right. Because a lot of times in life, it's cliche, but they say, when something doesn't feel right or doesn't set right in your heart, it probably isn't. When something seems too good to be true, it always isn't. Or is it? You get my point. Anyways, we out of here. Miles don't matter. Back on the road.